Bite-Sized and Bossy, rising up the ranks, handing out encouragement, deposits in their banks. Inspiration coming at you like a river flowing. Women paving paths, look at them going. Bite-Sized and Bossy, rising up the ranks, handing out encouragement, deposits in their banks.
Welcome. I'm Erin.
I'm Chrissy.
And this
And
is
Bite-Sized
and Bossy.
Bossy. Wow, we really messed up.
Well, it's a horse apiece on when we get this right.
We're out of practice.
Well, we're excited today. We have an amazing guest who we've been trying to get scheduled, and excited to introduce her and then have her introduce herself a little bit. But today we have Eve, who is from Hamra. And Hamra, you might not be super familiar with right off of the tip of your tongue, but you will know the brands they represent, which is Panera and Noodles and Caribou Coffee and even Wendy's. And so lots of different types of restaurants here. And so Eve, welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. I'm so excited.
We're excited. So let's start off because we know a little bit about you, but everybody listening might not be familiar with Hamra or Eve. So can you introduce yourself a little bit?
Sure. I'm Eve Methneny. I am the Vice President of Marketing, the VP of Marketing with Hamra Enterprises. I've been with Hamra for 16 years, and we are a franchisee of restaurants. And so, like you've mentioned, Wendy's, Panera Bread, Noodles and Company, and Caribou Coffee. And we are in 11 states. And we have 192 locations right now, as of right now. And by June 30th, we'll be 193. So happy to be here to talk about, all things restaurants, hospitality, empowerment, you name it.
So I think I have the first question. So you just rattled off 4 very well-known brands in our space. Being the VP of marketing for 4 brands that obviously have a very different demographics, right? From a customer standpoint, different messaging. How do you that sounds like a lot to manage. How do you manage okay, this brand gets this kind of messaging and then this brand gets this, and keeping all of that straight? That sounds
Right.
very tough.
That is a very common top, number one question I get asked all the time. How do you switch hats, right?
Yeah.
So how would describe would be, I have 4 kids. They have a different age group. They have different personality and behaviors, right?
Mhm.
One's in college, one's in high school, and they eat differently and they want different things. And you communicate with different languages with them.
Yeah.
That's how you support and manage your kids.
That is an
So-
amazing analogy because
Also,
I have
do you
4
really
kids.
have 4 kids?
No, I don't. I don't have any.
I was like,
That's the easiest way for me to explain, because I think people with 3, 4 kids, you can manage them,
Yeah.
you can support them. Well, just like that, you can do
Yeah.
that with 3 dogs, 4 dogs, same idea.
Yep. Well, I have 4 kids and they're all wildly different, and I've managed them all wildly differently.
yes.
Exactly.
Totally.
So it changes on a day-to-day basis, and I would tell my high-performing marketing managers this all the time. This is not a job for everybody or anybody.
Yeah.
So if you love being creative and changing hats all the time, and being creative in terms of demographics and geography, we are in so many states, and so you communicate very differently, say in Mississippi versus Boston, Massachusetts, right?
Yeah.
Even the pronouncing the name of the towns are completely different,
Mm.
right? So to me, that's fun and exciting. I love
Mhm.
talking and changing things every day. Just today, oh, I'm doing this for Noodles and Company. We're in St. Louis. And then tomorrow I'm doing, oh yeah, we're running lobster in June in New England. So to me, that's a lot of fun of moving parts. I think that's what's exciting about being a marketing person to begin with.
Well, I always say you don't go into marketing if you ever want to go home at night and feel like you checked everything off your to-do list. That will
That's so
never
true.
happen ever once. And if you are that type of person, maybe accounting or something is better for you and not marketing, because that list is always changing and someone always needs something, right?
That is so true. And I was like, if you love administrative work, great. A small part of it is for you. You can plan the whole year, you can plan as much as you can, but you and I know as marketers, it changes on a day-to-day basis. So yeah, that's fun.
Absolutely.
So do you have a favorite child?
Ooh, It depends. It
Yeah.
depends on what, like just today, we have new items, a preview with Wendy's. We have new items launching with Panera. I literally just tried the new strawberry caprese salad, which is amazing.
Yum.
Ooh.
That's my favorite part of the job,
I like that
chasing
you
food.
basically said your favorite child changes based on the day of the week, right? Mine
Right.
too. Mine too. That's how I feel about mine as well. But my favorite of yours is noodles. My kids flipping love noodles. We eat it all the time. And it's the pesto cavatappi with the chicken. And like
Yes.
we always get like butter noodles. We get so many. Oh, it's so
The
good.
parm chicken, Parmesan
Yeah.
crusted
Oh my
chicken.
gosh, it's so good.
So good.
Mhm.
We just need to have more awareness and more marketing. We have a new CMO, so and new concept people coming from Panera as well. So
Mhm.
very exciting stuff coming out from Noodles and Company.
Yeah.
First, I was a customer first, just like Panera Bread, just like so exciting. We can't wait for more people to know more about Noodles and Company. Really.
Well, we don't have Noodles and Company where I live. Sad, boo. Maybe we should have
You
one.
don't?
Hint, hint. No, no
No.
Noodles and
Oh.
Co. in Greenville, South Carolina. But I'm a huge Panera fan. I raised athletes, and when we would travel for soccer tournaments and volleyball tournaments, Panera Bread was great because it was healthy and we could get salads and sandwiches and soups. And so I could probably help you with some marketing.
That is great. Like that's a great thing about Panera. That's breakfast. You
Yep.
have a pastry time, coffee
Mhm.
break. You have mom groups coming in. We call it an everyday oasis. You come in, take a break, or people like set up their laptops and start working. Right, there's
Mhm.
their office space,
Yeah.
and then you have the PM chill as well, and then you have dinner and we have catering. It's just that's what's great about the brand, right?
Sure.
My
Cinnamon
Panera is
toast
right next
bagels.
to my Noodles. Like, I have a Noodles right next to my Panera in my town, and I always wondered, and I wonder if they're owned by the same person now. Like, I'm like, maybe they are. That's
Yeah.
crazy.
Maybe those are two great brands.
I'm
Yeah,
Mhm.
just
we'd be
gonna give a
fortunate.
shout out to the, cinnamon crunch bagel, okay, because those are
That's the
like
number one, the most popular bagel
they're
for us.
incredible. They're so good.
Yeah,
I
I
like
can't
the
wait for you guys
bottom.
to try the new it's something similar to that. So I can't wait for you guys to try the new items
I
coming
love
out
it.
next Wednesday.
Nice. Well, I will put it on my calendar.
Yeah,
So,
exciting.
Eve, obviously, women in leadership is incredibly important to us. And we started Bite Size and Bossy to help lift women up. And it's something that you have voiced that is important to you as well. Talk to me more about that. Like what you've seen in the industry over the time you've been involved and what you want to see happen.
I see this very common as well, not just hospitality, but if you look at just movies, right? I'm a big fan. When you have a female or minority director, and then suddenly the cast changes. You just
Mhm.
visibly changing, right? The lead actor, the supporting cast. Same idea here with the C-suite, right? When you have VPs and C-level in charge of certain, then you see suddenly they're more aware and alert to hire. Oh, I don't have any female here, or I
Mhm.
don't have any minorities, right? Representation
Yeah.
matters. So for me, being here, then when I'm hiring, when I'm supporting and being a mentor, then I'm very aware of, oh, have we included, say, a photo shoot or a
Mhm.
video or content? Say just simple thing graphics for your social media post.
Yeah.
Oh, do we have representation here? Because I'm aware of it, right? So being a minority myself. So that's what it's matter of like having, making sure that we elevate and
Yeah.
promote one another,
And
really.
from marketing, like your demographic and where, like you said, your locations are in all different areas, right? And the way you speak in one area is different the way you speak the other. And the same with when you're doing those photo shoots. Like, who are we representing? What do they look like? What do they seem like? What are their psychographics? And then does that connect with where we're going to put this up, right? And who we're going to speak to? It's
Right.
a challenge for sure.
And it has changes over time, even in recruiting and hiring. You notice, say, Noodles and Company gave an example where they're one of the first brand to be very open to associates having tattoos, having
Mm,
piercings.
Oh, that's interesting.
Very okay. I mean, you would know that if you walk to a noodles company, they're younger, they're in the 20s and 30s, right?
mhm.
So the other brands are slowly adapting, like, wow, it's okay to have a tattoo. Wow, it's okay to have piercing. We're hiring the person, not you know. So
Yeah.
I think it's over time, and even if you see recruiting posters and all of that has started to change and shift. So same thing with marketing, communication as well. So like we just opened a Wendy's, and it was across from Missouri State University. So instead of the same language, we are now communicating with our fun Gen Z friends in a
Mhm.
completely different language,
Oh,
which I
yeah.
have to look up. What does this mean? No cap. What
Mhm.
does this mean? Big character energy. So we were
Big
also having a
character
lot of fun with
energy.
that.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love my daughter says, "I'm about to crash out. I'm about to crash out," all the time. I'm like, "I don't know what that means. Are you dying? Like, what's happening?" And she's like, "Mom, I'm literally crashing out." And I'm like, "Okay, like, keep going."
I
I
don't what
know.
does that mean?
I think it means like you're done. Like, I can't handle this
Oh,
anymore.
okay,
Like, I'm about to
okay.
crash
Hmm.
out. Like,
Yeah.
Mom, this homework's so hard. I'm about to crash out. And then she says, bussin', which I was like,
Right.
okay, whatever. Like, we just shortened all the words. Like, why couldn't we have said the whole word? It was too much. So,
Right.
but I've learned a whole new lingo thanks to
Yeah.
them.
It is a completely new lingo, and some of them don't even like you don't make it doesn't make sense at all. I just finished this also a banner ad for Washington University, Noodles and Companies just right across. And then I literally created a banner. I'm like, the traditional way of like, oh, mac and cheese is so great, delicious, yummy, whatever it
Mhm,
is. Right now, it's like just have to change the language to appeal to a different
mhm.
generation. I literally was typing something. I have no idea what it's all about, but
Yeah,
it makes sense to them completely.
Yeah,
sure.
totally makes sense.
I think that's, like, another challenge that you have in your role, right?
Right.
You've got your 4 kids that have different demographics. You've got all the places that your brands are located, so then that looks a little bit different. Now you've gotta toss in, "Okay, we have all these generations that we have to appeal to, and how do we do that?"
Right. And that comes
Yeah,
with the different types of media as well,
yeah.
right?
Oh,
It
yeah.
used to be, oh, you have your radios, you have the direct mail, very
Mhm.
straightforward. Now you have terrestrial radio, and then you have a different layer, and then you look at the other social media. So it's insane, but it's also part of
Mhm.
the fun. That's why I'm saying this job is not for everybody, but if you
Yeah.
love a challenge, this is a little one for you.
Are you guys, actively using social media for advertising?
Yeah,
And
absolutely. Not
what
just advertising, for hiring as well. And
Yeah.
I'm also in charge of like crisis management.
Mhm.
Of course.
So
For sure.
yeah. So how my team members are communicating using social
Mhm.
media, and also how our guests, our consumers are communicating, right, as
Mhm.
well using
Yeah.
social media. So yeah.
What social medias are you guys using the most?
Well, it depends whether it's measurable and not measurable, as you know, that's the question for a marketing person. Meta has been the one that you can track the most because
Sure.
they do have the algorithm in there to help us.
Mhm.
TikTok, as you know, is very uncertain right now.
Correct.
So a lot of people love it, right? So Snap is also part of it as well. So,
That's
and then
awesome.
you have Discord, and it's just endless. It's just,
There
endless.
are so many. Like my daughter, and I know it's been out for a while, like Lemonade or whatever it's called. And
Hmm.
What
my
is it?
daughter had to sit me down and teach it to me.
Wait,
And
what is it?
Lemonade, which, okay, this is what I've come to terms with. And I don't know, Lemonade might reach out to me after this and be like, well, let us tell you what it is. But TikTok built Lemonade. So it's owned by TikTok. But it's basically Pinterest, but it allows them to own it. And so I was like, so we just have a second Pinterest? And she's like, yeah, but it's different. And I was like, it looks the same actually now that I'm
Hmm.
looking at it. So I think it's because like how Facebook and Instagram are all under one roof. And now you have TikTok and Lemonade. And I'm like, and so now my TikTok's updating me to tell me that someone posted on Lemonade. And I'm like, I don't care. It's too much.
It's
Wow, I'm
like
so
Thread,
out of the
right?
Really?
You
world.
have Facebook and all that, and then you have Thread,
Yep.
Yeah.
right? And now, have you heard of WhatsApp Business, which is a
Yep.
new way of communication? It's like a new X, but it's
Yep.
on WhatsApp Business.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hmm.
It's a lot to keep up with. I'm really out of the loop. I never heard of Illuminate.
Hmm.
Yeah, it is fascinating in order to understand all of these different channels. So you said you don't have 4 kids. Do you have any kids? I see a picture of a dog behind you.
Yeah, that's Austin. Yes, furry baby. Yes,
Right. So
the
we have
one and only, the one and only, and a
Yeah.
husband,
fur
obviously.
a furry baby. Well, I mean, good thing you didn't say 2 and say that's also my husband. Like that'd be something to explain later. But so you have a dog, and then you have some beautiful paintings behind you
I
as
do.
well.
I do. I'm a
What
big
are
tiger because I'm born. Well, now let's see which side you can see.
I know.
Oh,
I
that's so
know.
cool.
That's
That's
awesome.
Yes.
so cool.
I was born in the year of the tiger, so I have a affinity for tiger,
Oh, that's
and
awesome.
just yeah. So that's
What
I
kind of
love
dog?
poodle. He's a miniature poodle.
Aw.
Oh, I love
Oh,
poodles.
are
They're
you guys
so
dog
smart.
lovers? Do you guys have dogs or
I
cats?
do. I have 2 dogs. I have 2 golden doodles.
I have a mini
Doodles.
golden doodle. He's
Interesting.
tiny.
Yep.
Oh,
Uh,
good.
but he
Here we
thinks
go.
he's really big. He thinks he's very large. He barks incessantly at like strangers because he thinks he's going to scare everybody away. And I'm like, you're 10 pounds. Where are you going? And he's just like, I'm going to protect you. I'm like, okay, it's
Love
fine.
our doodles. Love our poodles.
Yes. So,
They're the
Eve,
best breed.
do you have any conferences on your schedule this year?
Literally, there's a CMO summit coming up in 2 weeks in Chicago in Langham.
Yeah.
So I've been fortunate that I've
The
been able
by
to
the
invite
CMO
it.
club, right?
Yes, that's right.
Yeah.
So
I
I'm
come up to the
excited.
CMO or come up, down. I'm in Wisconsin. I come down to a lot of those events for the CMO
Hmm.
club in Chicago. They're great.
Yeah, it's like we can talk shop all day.
That's awesome.
Yes, that's awesome. So when you're not doing what you're doing, which takes up a lot of time, what are you doing for fun?
Subconsciously, so my husband and I are big. We love working out. So it's yoga, vinyasa yoga practice, and then this yoga sculpt with core
Wait,
power.
what practice? What is it called?
It's a yoga sculpt. So it's hot yoga with weights.
Yep.
Ew.
And
I
she also
mean,
said vinyasa yoga as well.
That's right. That's right.
vinyasa?
Hmm.
Vinyasa. Yes. It's a type of
Been like wine.
Uh-huh.
Oh, you
VYN.
drink wine?
No, I don't, but
Oh,
I'm
I
just
all of a
trying
sudden
to.
got really excited about yoga. I was like, is this new? Is this new?
They do
You cannot drink
wine.
yoga. You cannot
They
drink
actually
wine and
do.
do yoga at the same time.
Fine.
Yes. Yeah. Working out is a big part. It's just that's how we de-stress, right? You
Mhm.
you face the computer, you do all of that, and then you go work out, sweat, and come back. And then, if one of these days I'm successful with my sourdough baking, I'll let you know.
How long have you only been sourdough baking since the pandemic?
Since the pandemic, yeah, that's
Yeah,
right.
you
I'm
were
one of
one of
those.
them. You're one
Yeah.
of those that jumped on the sourdough bandwagon. That makes sense.
It became
Sure did.
it's so popular.
It was. I mean, it kept us busy, kept us
Oh
something
my
to
God.
do
I feel like you're
something
growing a
productive.
flower when you do it because you have to like get the kit and the starter kit and rise it. And I'm like, this is too much
Hmm.
work. It
It's a
just,
lot of work.
Chrissy, did you make sourdough bread?
What do you think?
I'm gonna say no. That's a hard pass for her.
Yeah. No.
No,
I mean,
but
I would love to try it if I had the time to
yeah,
do it,
maybe
but
Eve will mail us some of her bread.
It's hard. So the starter came from my neighbor. She's French, so I call her Blanche.
oh, that's so
Oh,
funny.
all right.
I have seen people doing these. I am a huge fan of cinnamon rolls. I love them, especially like a really great cream cheese icing.
Hmm.
And I've seen these
Hmm.
sourdough cinnamon rolls. Now, I would probably give that a shot, but I'm a big
Yeah.
sourdough fan too. Yep.
I
Bread.
would highly recommend if you've never baked before, try something easier like a banana bread.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
It's
I mean,
like
I
a
have
fail
baked
proof.
before. I used to be
I
a big
kill banana bread.
I used to
I-
bake a lot.
Did you?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I used to bake a
Oh.
lot when I had a lot more time. I don't have time anymore. I don't know how I had more time when I had 4 kids under my roof than I do now, but somehow I
Yeah.
did, and I just don't anymore. I don't know. Or
I think
maybe
we
I'm
get
just
older and it just like
yeah.
it's fleeting.
It's just
Maybe I
very
was
meditating. It's just for me, it's just like I'm in my zone. I'm listening to a podcast, I'm baking and do my thing. And
Yeah.
then it just feels very productive. Like I have something after doing something.
Back in like 2010, when cake pops first hit the craze, I started this little in-home business called Confections of Bliss. And I used to make to order cake pops for birthday parties and showers and like all of that. And then that lasted about, I don't know, 6 months to a year. And then it just
You've never made me a cake pop. I've never one, I never knew this information about you, and I feel like I know a lot about you. And two, I've never been given a cake pop by you.
well, I haven't made a cake pop in a long time, but I'll buy you one from Starbucks.
I do love them. They're so good. They're so
I want
good.
to know, how do you ladies like de-stress, or at the end of the long
Oh, she's
day, a
turning the
long week?
questions around.
I know, I
Now
love
she's
it.
interviewing us.
How do you
Uh,
de-stress, Aaron?
I'm interested.
Yeah.
I'm a competitive ballroom dancer. So yeah,
Wow.
I fell into it about 4 years ago, and it turns out it's like, I assume, I've never done this, but I assume it's like doing cocaine, where you start with a little bit and you're like, I'm not going to do it. And then you do a little bit more until you're like, I have to have it, until I start getting my friends to do it too. And I'm like, you should do the cocaine as well. And that's what dance is for me, is like, I went from, no, that's not for me, to now I'm like selling the cocaine on the streets type feeling. So that's, I do love it. And it is a lot of de-stress. Plus, if I'm being honest, I like to be picked up, and my dance partner can throw me in the air and I'm like, this is great. So
That's so funny. Well, my de-stress is not nearly as exciting as Aaron's. I drink tequila. And actually, when the weather warms up, which we're very, very close to that, I spend the weekends on my boat, and I'm able to
with the
completely.
tequila. So she's
Yes,
really
with the
doing
tequila,
double
so
the
I'm double
self-care.
de-stressing.
Yeah. And she has a specific, Chrissy, like you have a specific way you take your tequila, which I think is like a super healthy way. And tequila is like one of the healthiest liquors you can have. So you do it with like soda and pineapple, right? And
Yeah,
so like
just
that's
a little
actually
splash of pineapple.
really, it's very nutritious.
Yeah, absolutely. But
It
and
is
then
sweet.
also working out. I'm a lot like you. My husband and I have been involved in CrossFit since 2013. We've ventured away from the hardcore CrossFit exercises and really just, go through the movements, do lifting. I love to lift a barbell. And I will throw in some yoga. I love some Bikram yoga from time to time as well.
Oh,
Yeah.
great.
Which is
I
different than
started
the
off
word
with
you said
Bikram.
before, right?
What?
Bikram versus, what was the other word?
Vinyasa.
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 Mhm.
All right,
Mhm.
I'm
Yeah,
gonna have
that
to
was my
Google.
first attempt. Well, not attempt, but how I started was Bikram. That
Yeah.
was back before, but
Yeah.
now they don't call it Bikram anymore. But
No, I'm just old school. I call it
I
Bikram.
know, that's
Yeah.
when I know.
Well,
Yeah.
like I live in South Carolina, and like I really like to do that in the winter when it's nice and cold. In the
Mhm.
summer, it's a little hot to be doing hot yoga, but
Mhm.
I really enjoy it. There's something really cleansing about all that sweat and
Mhm.
how
Mhm.
great your body feels coming out of it. Yeah,
And I think we
that's
need
true.
weights at some point. I mean, I'm at a stage in my life where weightlifting is good. I need it for my
Mhm.
bones. I need to
Yep.
build muscle. It's all about that.
Yeah,
So.
because we start degenerating after a while, right?
Yeah.
Sadly.
Mhm.
Sadly.
Mhm.
Yeah. At a certain age, it's just downhill, right?
Yeah, I'm there. Like, I've already crested the top. I'm going back down
That
the
is
other
not
side,
true.
guys.
You look phenomenal.
No!
Eve, so you're in Chicago, right?
I am. Yes, I am.
And have you lived there forever and ever and always?
Oh yeah, about 25 years. But before that, yeah, 25 years is home. But originally I was born in Malaysia.
Oh,
Mhm.
okay.
So I came
Awesome.
here right after
That's
that.
great.
Hmm.
Hey,
So
let's talk about something because we were, like, right there at the subject. And,
mhm.
Eve, I don't know how old you are, but I am getting ready to turn 49, and Aaron, if you wanna share, you're not terribly far behind me.
I mean, 25 seems pretty far, but no, I'm 41.
Yep. And
Oh.
and so one of the things that, like, I think as females that we struggle with, especially being in high profile positions where a lot of times our face is the company's face and the
Mhm,
company's voice and that sort of thing. But like one of the things that I've started and you brought this to my mind because we started talking about lifting weights and taking care of our body and we need it when we
mhm.
start getting a little bit older.
Right.
I am, like, starting to have, like, this complex about when I look in the mirror, I'm not seeing the same person that I saw 10 years ago. And and when you go to these conferences, you wanna look your best, you wanna present not only your personal brand, but your company's brand and that sort of thing, and you don't want to be looked at as, "Oh, Chrissy's starting to get old. Is she gonna lose her edge? Is she gonna do that?" Like, do either one of you have either one of you guys gotten to, like, that point where you're starting to think about those things?
Well, let me just say this. I just turned 51 this year.
Oh, you look amazing.
Oh,
Wow.
Thank you. Thank
Wow.
you.
Yeah.
So I turned 51, and that's when I literally was having this conversation a few days ago. with two of my colleagues, my president and my general counsel. And I was welcoming my general counsel, who's will turn 50 this year. I say, welcome to the 50s club. Welcome.
Yes.
It's great over here. I think in the 30s and 40s, you are finding yourself, you are hustling, you just don't pay much attention to your
Yeah.
physical self and
Mhm,
mental health too. So
mhm.
you're all about climbing that ladder and things like that, wanting to fit in. So at 50, 51, I can tell you it's a good place. Like I'm sure of myself, physically I
Mhm.
feel great. So when you feel great about yourself physically and you're out in the world, you carry yourself very differently,
Yeah.
Yeah.
right? And then I'm more sure where I don't really need to wear heels anymore.
I
I
never
plan
wear
on
heels.
wearing I'm planning on wearing my Adidas sneakers
Yep.
to a conference
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
I know I could rock it out with a pair of nice pants, with a
Yep.
jacket.
Even a
Um,
dress, you can dress up those sneakers
Totally,
nowadays. Yeah.
totally.
Yeah.
So I think in now that I'm 51 on this side, I can tell you I'm more sure, I'm confident that I know who I am as an
Mhm.
individual. And then you carry yourself in meetings and things like that, and you wear different things where like I don't need to do that anymore.
Yeah.
Right. So and I think people can see it, they can feel it. And I love being 51.
I
I
also
love
love
that.
that we're having this conversation, and I'm glad you brought it up, Chrissy, because I don't think as women we talk about this enough openly.
Mhm.
And it sounds like Eve, you have no problem talking about this as well. And obviously, Chrissy and I don't anymore. But I've gone to conferences where I'm like, how does everybody's face look so good? And they're all of a sudden, all these women are like, it's a lot of Botox. It's a lot of Botox. And I'm like, oh, that's something we're supposed to be doing. Like, I didn't know. And like, as I'm talking to women, I never had someone who was honest with me about what they were doing or how they felt about these things. And the more I think we talk about it openly, the more we're able to like create a community where all of that's accepted and we know like, oh, it's not like you worked hard to look that way. It's not anything different or your body feels good and we're building and lifting each other up, right? Like I don't know. We have to do something. We have to talk about it. The same with like the first time I went to the doctor and I was having well, I thought I was having small fevers. Honestly, I was like, I think I keep spiking fevers. And he goes, those are hot flashes. And I was like, no, no, that can't be. And he goes, yeah, no, you're probably on the brink of like perimenopause. And I said,
Yeah.
I'm sorry, peri, like pre? And he goes, no, peri comes after pre. And I was like, what? And I said, how long does this last? Like a
Wait, I
little bit,
skipped a step.
couple months. He goes, it could last up to 17 years. And I literally almost threw something at him. Like you've seen
Uh,
like people take off their shoe and throw it. Like I was like, and he just said it so nonchalantly, like, good luck. I would just wear layers. And I'm like, why aren't
yeah.
we talking about this more and what that
Exactly.
means and how that changes your cognitive space and how do you handle it as you
How
go
you deal with
into it?
stress and like all the things. I'll tell you one thing that another like crazy thing that I'm dealing with is like, and these all affect our attitude during the day, how we're handling things, like how we're digesting the stress. But like when I tell you my hair is falling out by the clumps, I hate taking a shower and washing my hair because I get so sad and so depressed. I've always had a beautiful head of hair that I could abuse and flat iron and do all those things, and it never but my hair is thinner today than it's ever been in my life, and I have a very big complex about it because I can tell.
But it's
Right.
all normal, right? And that's what's weird about it is like, that's what
But
happens.
nobody told me that my hair was gonna
Nobody
fall
told me.
out.
Why weren't we talking about these
I don't know.
things?
Right. Right. And it's totally okay. Like, I would always say this. My body's very confused. Our hormones are confused.
Yep.
I don't know what's gonna happen, right? Sometimes I sweat, sometimes at night it's so hot, sometimes
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
cold. And have grace with yourself, right? And
Yeah.
we talk about it, then everybody's like, oh yeah, that's totally fine. I feel the same way. My hair is
Mhm.
falling out. I feel sweaty all the time. I don't know what to do. So I think it's totally okay and to have grace and talk about it. Start talking about it.
And it seems to make us better leaders from what I can tell as women age and things like that. They become better leaders. I think part of it is because they have empathy for what they're going through, what other women are going through, what other people are going through, because you're now going through something too. And I
But
find that fascinating because I do think we are some of the best leaders as women.
But she said something really, really important that I hope that all of our listeners who listen to this episode today, like it's probably the most important thing that's been said in this entire episode is as females, really anybody, but I'm going to double down on the female part. As females, we have to learn to give ourselves some grace. And I don't think like you said, we spent our 20s, our 30s, and our 40s hustling, climbing the corporate ladder. We were fresh faced. We didn't have wrinkles. Our hair wasn't falling out. We didn't have wild weight gain that nobody could explain and all of these things. But that is one thing that we want to do here at Bite Size and Bossy
Mhm.
is give females a place to discuss and talk about these things so everybody knows it's okay. Like,
Yeah.
it's okay. I love it.
Totally
Absolutely.
okay. I
Yeah.
mean, when people ever ask, like, why is this misconception not going away? I've been working on it every day. It's not going away. That's your hormone talking, not
Yeah.
leaving you anytime soon.
Yeah.
That's amazing. I think it's time for some food for thought. Chrissy, what do you think?
I love food for
Well,
thought.
kick it off, Chrissy.
Okay. I already asked you who your favorite kid was. You said it depends on the day, but you live in Chicago. Chicago is my favorite food town to visit. And I shared with you some of my favorites in Chicago. So date night, favorite favorite restaurant in Chicago.
Oh, it's so hard to choose one. But lately I like Itoko, which is a Japanese restaurant on Southport Avenue, and it's got they have bite size. Imagine a taco, but in a sushi form, hand roll. It's like to die for. So
Oh
you
my
should try it, Itoko, Itoko.
That sounds
ITO.
amazing.
Yes,
We're
on
going
Sounds
to be in
Southport.
amazing.
Chicago in May.
May. Yeah, for NRA.
Yes, for NRA.
Mhm.
So,
We'll have to hang out, Eve.
You
yeah.
should come over to Southport, which is the in place. It's
Oh,
Oh,
nice.
I like
awesome.
it. I like it.
All right. So when you're out shopping, what's your go-to clothing brand?
I like Anthropology. It has a variety of clothing for all age group and styles and stuff like that. So I do like Anthropology a lot.
Nice. Anthropology is great. Great store. I
I
love
think
like
I'm too poor
even
to shop there.
you're what? Too
I'm
poor?
too poor to shop there. Every time I go in there and you like pick up it'll be like one glass and you're like $81. Is
I
this like
noticed the price has definitely gone
yeah.
up
I'm
over
like
time.
I think the prices have gone up on
my
everything.
daughter
That is
likes
so true.
Anthropology too. She'll start walking in there. I was like, we don't have to walk in there. Nope, nope. Reel it back.
That's so funny. I do love all their knickknacks they have in there, maybe more so than
Mhm.
their clothes, actually.
They
Fair.
do. I love the window dressing. From a marketing eye, you look at how they dress up. I just love the
Mhm.
setting, the decor, how they set up everything. So I love that.
That's
It's a whole
awesome.
360 experience when you go
Yeah.
in there.
Erin, that was a great question. We haven't asked
Thank
that
you.
one
Mm.
before. Okay, next question. What outside of your workouts and dining, what is a guilty pleasure?
Okay, so I de-stress by watching a psychopath, like a murder mystery on TV, on a TV
Love.
show. That's how I decompress.
Oh.
I know it sounds crazy.
No, that
It's
doesn't sound crazy. I literally watch Dateline Secrets Uncovered almost every night of my life.
I know it sounds weird, but it's just how I decompress.
I
I
love
like
that.
to like whodunit kind of
Yeah,
show, and
yeah,
like that's
Yeah.
if it's in Swedish, Scandinavian kind, even better, dark, gloomy. Yeah,
Oh my
that's how.
goodness.
I
I'm more of
love
like a Law and Order SVU person, right?
it.
I have 1 hour to see who solved the crime and was Olivia Benson on the case is all I really care about.
That's
That's
right.
that's
Mhm.
great. All right,
That's
Mhm.
next up,
amazing.
Erin.
All right. So guilty pleasure when you're not working out or working, what's your guilty pleasure that like you don't often just share on your first recording of a podcast with us?
I'm having it right now. It's oolong ice coffee with boba.
Yum.
Ooh, that sounds good.
That
I
sounds
know
delicious,
it
actually.
is. That's my little like a little pick me up kind
Do
of
you make
perk.
that at home or do you go get it?
No, just yeah, no.
Oh, I love that. I
Yeah,
love that.
that's great.
Yeah.
I love boba. Boba has become really, really, really popular all over the
Mhm.
country.
I know. It would be
Yeah.
nice if one of the brands would carry that, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
I could see you
Yeah.
implementing that a little bit into Panera because you guys already have like those tea, like you have the
Mm,
green tea and you have the lemonades, like
Mhm.
potentially.
Yeah,
that's
it
Yeah.
would be
amazing.
cool.
I love
Well, as we wrap up, one, you're amazing. You are like
Yeah.
the full package as it relates to being able to talk about not only personal things, work things, like just obviously, clearly a rock star in your space. And we're excited that you were able to come on. And our last question that we always ask is if you could think of anyone that when you listen to Bite-Sized and Bossy that you want to hear on Bite-Sized and Bossy, who would that person or people might they be?
It would be Lindsay Rakowski. She's the CMO for Wendy's.
Ooh, all right. That's awesome.
She's the complete rock star, in my opinion.
Well, we would love to talk to Lizzie and have her on and hear from her as well. So Lizzie, if you're listening,
Lindsay. I think she said Lindsay. Lindsay?
Oh, sorry,
Lindsay.
Lindsay, if you're listening, we
Lindsay
do
from
want you on
Wendy's.
Bite-Sized and Bossy. But with that said, for anyone at home listening, like, subscribe, share, all the things that you do to say that you love us. Tell us you love us. We like to hear that as well. And that's today's episode of Bite-Sized and Bossy. And thank you so much. Chrissy and I thank you so much. And Tammy couldn't be here with us today, but she would be if she could be because we're the trio. And appreciate you being on, Eve.
Thank you so much for having me today. I had fun.
Thanks, Eve. Thanks for sharing. We really appreciate it. And so does our audience.
Bite-Sized and Bossy, rising up the ranks, handing out encouragement, deposits in their banks.